Welcome back to another Tim Talk. Today I'm going to do a two-parter. The first part is going to focus on us as individuals. The second part is going to focus on us in our relationships. Years ago, as I was studying different things, I came across one of the Greek sayings, know thyself. And over the years, I've heard other people have different variations on it, and this is the one that I've kind of settled in on, that we need to find ourselves, accept ourselves, and then give ourselves away. For me, that has powerful implications on how we should live our life. Finding ourselves is a difficult and long-term process, but just as difficult sometimes is learning to accept what we find and be content and satisfied with what we are able to do. But more importantly, the most important of all, is that we figure out a way to take who we are and to give that away, to make a difference in this world. So there are another series of words that kind of go along with that, and let me focus first on dependent. When we're born, we're incredibly dependent on everybody else. There is not a thing we can do for ourselves at that time. But over a period of time, we learn to get potty trained, we learn to feed ourselves, we learn to put our own clothes on, and over even more time, we end up being able to support ourselves financially, have our own homes, basically move forward as full functional adults. The process then after that is, if we are basically independent, we have found ourselves to a big degree, and maybe we've accepted ourselves. But the last one then, being interdependent, is what we need to do to be able to give ourselves away. Now, there's an image I like to use that helps me see this in some sense. Every person has an inner being. This is the person that nobody else sees. This is the place where only you know what's going on. But from that, we have our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual domains that are at work, blended together, not separate necessarily, but that creates then an outer perspective. This is what people see. And if we're balanced, if we find this sense of wholeness, each of these spokes, or each of these legs of this wheel, should be in relative balance. And in doing so, this is the process by which we can find ourselves. We look into how we are physically, how we are mentally, how we are emotionally, how we are spiritually. And early in our lives, each of these kind of struggles, and as we move forward in our lives, they continue to be something that we have to nurture and that we have to pay attention to. So by finding who we are and getting balance in these four areas, the inner person begins to be revealed in the outer person. And the more integrity that basically the inner matches with the outer, the more balance we find ourselves. So in this process, finding ourselves, and then once we see that, accepting that, being willing to look in the mirror and say, I'm okay with the person that I am, or I'm going to work on the things that I can do something about. And this allows us to find balance and wholeness. And this is a daily process. So this is the individual part. Next part, we're going to focus on relationships.